Your favorite couples here so easily accessible. Grab your headphones, hit play, turn up the decibel. Master of the pod like a young Skywalker. Shout out to homie Yoda, cause great are we talkers. The crew is firm, so it's love to AZ. You signed the Tempe. Score some competition simply. Sure to get you high like some true West Coasters. Look at the flick of the wrist. One guardian Leviosa. LA is always sunny. Comic-Con with honeys. Pokemon and Dunny. Sneaker hype, be sticking money. And Rachel rolls her eyes and see Lee made it funny. Time flies and now my flux capacitor is running. You not rocking with us, you like a muggle wizard, see. Just stupefy yourself with the wave of wizardry. Like Mario standing still and the left's a moving screen. A world full of nerds, but only two nerdly. Don't show you ever heard, just see. It will be a drum like an infectious beat. We complete, they like when the short and long hair meet. Cause we the nerdlies, the nerdly. Don't show you ever heard, just see. It will be a drum like an infectious beat. We complete, they like when the short and long hair meet. Cause we the nerdlies, the nerdly.
Hello and welcome to the Nerdlies. I am Chris.
I am Rachel.
Hi everybody. How have you been? Hopefully you guys are doing well. We are hanging out, doing the podcast for the first time in a little while. Pretty good. It's been a good month. Interesting month. Mm-hmm. I wanted to mention something off the bat because a friend of ours led us to this person. Just wanted to give them a quick shout out. If you like wood, like etched stuff, kind of like we bought stuff similar from a place called Impossible Cuts, but they also make these geeky like earrings and bookmarks and all this other stuff. Like there are tie clips too, which I think is really cool. I'm very tempted to buy the lightsaber tie clip right off the bat. But Vector Engraving, that's named Vector Engraving on Instagram as well, and they have a shop on Etsy. Has some awesome stuff. They're local to California, so make sure to check them out. I think we're gonna grab a couple of things from there and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited. They have a lot of Star Wars gear. They have Firefly stuff, some Captain America shield stuff. Yeah. So and they're made local in California. So I just want to drop that right off the bat because they seem cool and they're friends of a friend. So would like to give them some props. So if you have any needs of stuff like that, they have like I was really excited about the selection of like bookmarks. Even though I don't read a lot of books, like all the lightsaber bookmarks I loved. Like there's a Saj Ventress one, there's some Count Dooku lightsabers, there's the Ahsoka lightsabers, obviously. Ton of really cool stuff on their site on Etsy. So it's vectorengraving.etsy.com, I believe is the site. So I'll put that in the description in case anybody wants to check that out. That's my promotion for the day. But oh yeah, and just to get, since we're already starting off with just promotion stuff, I just did a new design for a shirt that's coming out on the shop. So check out our shop, thenerdlies.com/shop, and you can get a Not a Smart Person shirt. I have it's not a smart man, not a smart woman, or not a smart person. All three of those designs are up there. It's kind of like a chalkboard design. I mean, I just say that all the time when I'm playing games and I do something stupid. So I felt like I needed to just make a shirt out of Not a Smart Man. And smart is spelled SMRT. So check that out whenever you can. Anyway, we have been gone about a month since last time we recorded. A lot of stuff has come out. A lot of trailers, a lot of movies. We actually watched a couple of things that we've been meaning to watch. One that our friend Brian has been asking us to watch for forever. Since the beginning of the Pandeezy. So the Panini.
Panorama.
Yeah. So we finally watched that. We'll talk about that in a second. But I did want to go through some of the trailer stuff that we saw before we go anywhere. First thing off, just a small thing. There was a teaser trailer for Stranger Things 4, which didn't really show all too much. It kind of goes back to Eleven's like original backstory, basically, like the facility that she was raised in. What did you think of the teaser? Was it like? I know that you're still on the boat of like you're still sad about what happened with Hopper, so you're like, I don't know. Are you still on that boat or at all?
Well, I don't even know if I want to talk about it because like technically I know a spoiler for the next season.
Oh, you already know a spoiler. Yeah, I forgot.
And it makes me really upset. So I don't. to the point where like I don't know if I want to watch the show anymore because
Okay.
of how pissed off I am about it. So I mean, I probably will because I've already watched every other episode of it. So yeah, I probably will watch it. But yeah, it's just something that happened that's really cheap, and I don't like when they like toy with your emotions and shit.
Yeah.
Like, because yeah, Hopper dying last season was like fucking killed me.
Yeah, it's a heartbreak.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah.
But I kind of figure. I mean, I don't know. I do understand where you're coming from because it does suck. Because that's the thing we were talking about with like Rise of Skywalker with Chewie. It was like a really dumb thing to do or whatever, like a stupid way to do it, where it's like, oh, that's the legacy character that like if you were to have killed him that way, it sucks. And to hold on to it knowing that he's gonna be back, like, why wouldn't you just immediately relieve that or whatever? Like, just give the audience an in. Like, it's still gonna be emotional for Rey and all that stuff.
They
but
waited
like,
way too long.
Yeah.
Man. Way too long.
But anyway. Yeah. So I'm intrigued. I think the trailer itself was kind of whatever. Got a little bit of Matthew Modine, I believe his name is, father, and Papa. I can't remember which thing they call him, Papa. But yeah, like that was cool. I am intrigued by. I hope that they are trying to actually pay off the thing from season 2 with the actual other kids that were in the facility. So if that's the case, then I'm a little bit interested because I thought it was interesting to have them in season 2, but they didn't do anything with them besides that one episode.
I don't know why it just took me this long to make the connection, but I'm like, it's kind of almost exactly like the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
Because they all have numbers and they have different powers.
Well, yeah. I mean,
They're all
everyone kind of...
kids.
Yeah, everyone kind of pays off the same type of like.
I didn't even think about that until now. I mean, it's a totally different element, and like I mean, they're both technically period pieces.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yes, yeah. Umbrella Academy does go to the modern stuff a little bit more though.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, last season it was pretty much the entirely in the 60s.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm actually rewatching that again. I fucking love Umbrella Academy. It's just like, mwah, chef's kiss. It's
and
so
they're back
good.
in production, so we're starting to see pictures on set and stuff like that. And then you got Elliot Page out there rocking it.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. So
Can I tell you how happy that makes me? Because my friend was pointing out the other day that like it's kind of been a subtle thing, and it like didn't even really make a connection until recently, but like he's always kind of just generally looked sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like I've seen that many pictures of him like actually happy or like smiling really big. I mean, on set sometimes like I've seen like behind the scenes stuff and like they're smiling and everything like that and like goofing around, but like just in general, like it's like it was like this almost like softly unspoken thing where you're like, I don't know that they're really happy, you know?
Yeah.
But like I just, you don't really think about it until you're like, oh shit, that's what it was like.
Yeah, maybe they're carrying something.
Yeah, and like then like and they were saying that, or one of my friends was saying that like if you see, I think it's their most recent picture on Instagram is them shirtless after their surgery, and they look so fucking happy.
Yeah, they do.
Like so happy.
He looks very, very happy.
So I just wanted to shout that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very happy. I mean, I've had a couple of friends in my life recently who've been able to come to that realization and fulfill that in a very meaningful way, and it makes me really happy that people are able to
absolutely
live their best life and not feel caged up anymore. And that's a big
it's a huge weight
thing.
It's a huge weight that you us as what is it, cisgender folks, we can't I can't personally relate to it because that's not my experience, but I can only imagine having that sort of weight on you, being like, I'm not living in my body, basically. This is not the reality I'm living in. Like my brain is, I feel a different way, and that's who I am, and all that stuff. Not being able to do that is like really, really tough. So once they are able to actually transition and all that stuff, like have the confirmation surgery and everything, like that's great. I'm so excited for him, and like you said, he looks really, really happy.
Yeah.
Really, really happy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see this next season. Obviously, we've been following Justin Min a lot more. I'm excited for my boy to actually have some lines this season that are more. I mean, he had a lot of lines this last season too.
He had a great arc, actually.
Really great arc.
In
Yeah.
the second season, I'm really happy that they like made him more of a thing.
Okay,
because in the comics he's not really that much of a thing. Yeah. Like they just, I mean, he was.
Well, that's the thing. Like I think they've done the balance a lot better, and the same thing with Stranger Things. They've done a really good job with the balance of all the characters.
Yes.
All of these series that they've done on Netflix have done a really good job of figuring out the way to introduce someone new and making them kind of matter, but also giving love to all the other characters and giving them something. He didn't have much in the first season, but in the second season, he really grew up. And then you have, obviously now the third season, it's going to be off the chain. And I'm also excited to see what's going on with the box. The floating box is still getting in my head.
Yeah, it's
so I have no idea what's going to go on with that.
And like I still need to read because that's the thing though. I mean, it's like I need to read the third book of Umbrella Academy. I lent it to a friend of mine, and I still haven't read it.
Yeah.
I've read some of it. I just haven't gotten to all the way through it. But it's Hotel
Oblivion.
Hotel Oblivion, yeah. But that's the thing is that like they really do something completely different than the comics do.
Yes.
And so it's like if you read the comics, like you might get a little bit of insight because like technically in the second book, Five does fight an older version of himself.
Yeah. So you get glimpses of things.
There's totally different things going on.
Yeah,
like
contextually
that's technically when like Klaus goes to Vietnam, but like Diego and number one go with
Luther.
Luther.
Yeah.
Go with him as well, and like Klaus adopts a baby. Like it's like so there's so much that's different. But then there's like little lines through that kind of connect it. So I'm interested to read it, even though I don't know that it really has, because I think
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to inform the next season.
From what I've heard is that like almost like the second season, on the very last page of the third book is the Sparrow Academy.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
So it's basically almost like the second season, but it's the third novel. And then there is also a separate whole book just about Klaus, which I'm super fucking stoked to read.
We have the graphic novel for that too.
But I will have to report back.
It's called
on
You
that.
Look Like Death. If you haven't checked it out, it's from Dark Horse.
If you didn't know, Klaus is my favorite character.
Yeah.
And I have everything except the beard to cosplay him from season 2, and I just haven't been able to pull the trigger because no cons yet. Yeah. Over a year.
But we'll have to.
It's fucking nuts.
We might have to do it soon just to do.
No,
it
I
kind of.
Because really the only thing I'm missing is the beard, and I can do that like fairly easily. So. Yeah. We need to make it happen.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen soon.
I need to strap my chest down for that one, but it'll be fun.
Oh, man. But anyway, so yeah, Stranger Things 4 coming out soon, and then we have Umbrella Academy Season 3 filming. One other trailer I wanted to touch on was Eternals. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Eternals finally has a trailer dropped. They had little teasers here and there and stuff like that. I don't really. Here's the thing, right? It's super exciting because we know nothing about them. This is what I'm gonna be able to get out of that trailer is that it looks very vast. Mm-hmm. All the shots look beautiful. The cast is incredible. How did they get all of these people to be in a cast? You get Angelina Jolie to be in a Marvel movie now. Incredible.
Yeah.
You got Gemma. You basically get Gemma Chan for the second time now because she was in Captain Marvel. That's
so weird. Yeah. Why do they do that?
That was weird. That is weird because they usually don't.
I didn't even think about that, but they usually never do that.
But I guess she was in blue makeup, so But yeah,
still weird.
Yeah,
that's really weird.
But you got I just know him as Jon Snow. Kit Harington, that's his name, and then the other guy that's also from Game of Thrones. Ooh, I mean, I don't know if that's gonna be a thing. If you think that they're the same, I don't think they're the same character. I don't think so.
Well, I guess. Well, they're not. Sorry, I was thinking she was Skrull, but she's not Skrull.
No, she's not. She's the other Kree. Yeah,
Kree. But
yeah,
probably not.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Because I forgot it was the Skrulls that do the shapeshifting.
Yeah,
which apparently is supposed to. Which I don't understand. That's another thing. Sorry, I'm like going off topic.
No, it's fine.
I just started thinking about Secret Invasion, and I'm like, they spent all this time making the Skrull like sympathetic and like nice. And now they're gonna like make them evil, like.
Well, maybe. Is this what I don't know? I don't know whether they're gonna meet.
Like, is it a different faction that's like,
what
we're
I'm
gonna
thinking.
Take over the world? Like,
that's what I'm thinking is that there's another faction of Skrulls that survived that
are like bitter or whatever.
And then now
like,
we can't Nick Fury has to figure out which ones he can trust because there's obviously gonna be some stuff. Maybe that could be conjecture. Who knows how they're gonna introduce
that would make sense. That would be an interesting thing to explore with
the
shape-shifting and not knowing like who's real and who's not, because like there was that whole thing where like at the end they're like, oh yeah, Nick Fury and her were not really Nick Fury and
in
her.
Far From Home.
In Far From Home, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah.
But what I'm also excited about with Eternals is I was talking about this with a couple of people because we saw the trailer and we're like, I'm in just because it's gonna be brand new. I will say 95% of fans who like general comic book fans are not huge fans of the Eternals. They're not deep in the lore until they like started researching now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to do the research because I want to be surprised. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do a little bit for Shang-Chi just because I wanted to know what they're doing with him now. Because that I think is going to more inform him than what they did in the past. But the one thing I'm very excited about is the director, who's Chloe Zhao. Hopefully I'm saying her last name right. She is legitimately just very recently Oscar-winning director in the prime of her career, literal prime of her career, doing a Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. Like, that is super intriguing to me. I don't think that she would sign on to a movie without her full heart into it and like
the cinematography already. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm in, like again, like they're taking something I have literally no concept of what it is about, and they're like, look how pretty,
yeah,
and cool characters and fun, and you're like, okay.
And we'll see how they play the whole like. Obviously, the biggest thing
I've
is
already
like
done it a couple times. We were taking something I had no idea about and been like, this is dope, because like I know fucking shit about Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Like,
and you
nothing.
loved it. Yeah.
I fucking love it. It's he and them that's like my favorite, like, aside from like, well, I don't know, I say Black Panther is my favorite, but Ant-Man's like 2 or 3, like both of them, like
Ant-Man and Wasp.
So good.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
It's a really good like
gave
little
us the magic shit. Like,
yeah.
I just watched it again the other day. I was like, I totally forgot he's like watching the video.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's really good.
And practicing. Oh my god, I fucking love it.
I told you that. I mean, that's great character development. Marvel is doing the thing, man. They're doing the thing. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be interesting. I hope they figure out a way to weave it so that, I mean, the biggest thing in the trailer was like, we've been here this whole time. We've never interfered until now. What is the until now?
Yeah.
What of all of these things that we've seen, Dormammu almost fucking came and ate the world. Like, the fucking Thanos actually snapped fully, and they still waited like 5 years. Like, what is the thing that brings them to the table? We'll see. I really don't know. Like, there's conjecture and about that stuff, but I'm not gonna go into all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, is it the universe shit? Like,
I mean, I'm assuming it's got to be universe breaking shit. Or, I mean, I wonder, like, that's the thing. I don't know if that's gonna be the thing that comes up so soon.
Is that what people think it is, or do people think other things?
It could be that. I mean, I don't know. I've been looking at different things about, like, I
mean, they're setting that up to kind of be the next Thanos, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Because there was saying that the Eternals were experiments by the Celestials, right? This is what somebody said on TikTok. Were experienced by these Celestials, which are the gigantic figures, and the one that's the head from nowhere is a head of a Celestial. the planet is the head of a celestial.
I totally forgot.
So
so they're like fucking huge.
Yeah. So
Jesus Christ.
So the Eternals are experiments, and then there are deviants of those experiments. So there are different types of I'm guessing they're just called deviants, I believe. But I guess in the comics, Thanos is one of those deviants. So he is technically an Eternal. So they're saying that, yeah, exactly. So he has like a gene or whatever. Then they think maybe that's part of why they maybe introduced the X gene through these experimentation things. Who knows? I don't know. That seems like a leap to me, but I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know what we're gonna do. I honestly don't know what Marvel has in store for this movie. So we'll see. But yeah, that comes out I think in November. I could double check that date, but yeah, other Marvel news completely confirmed. I mean, next thing, obviously easy thing is Loki is next week, basically, June 9th. They moved it up 2 days. It's going to be on Wednesdays. Pretty crazy. I'm pretty excited about that. Rachel's really excited about it.
Now I've got fucking Bad Batch, and then that'll keep coming, and I'll rub my hands together deviously.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you have the Pixar thing on there?
What Pixar thing? Oh, the Inside Pixar? We can put that on there, yeah. But yeah, other Marvel, just since we're going through the TV stuff, or Marvel stuff. Oscar Isaac, completely confirmed as Moon Knight.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Pretty awesome. Marvel is just killing.
Oh my God.
I can't believe what they're doing sometimes. Like, the castings, whenever it's rolled out, it's like anyone who is at all hot, whatever, they're coming to the Marvel universe.
No, I'm like, where's Daisy Ridley?
Yeah, right? Like, when is Daisy Ridley coming? Where's
John Boyega? Like, seriously.
Like, when's Adam Driver going to come into this thing, you know? Like, we're going to bring them all in.
He could be, oh my God, that'd be amazing.
I'm really excited about that. So, I'm excited about Moon Knight. I don't know much about it. I know I love his design. I've always loved that. But yeah. That's all we really know. All we know is they're in pre-production for Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac's completely confirmed as Moon Knight, Mark Spector. So yeah, exciting. We saw the Venom 2 trailer. I'm just kind of like, I still haven't watched Venom.
Yeah, I've never watched Venom.
So I don't know.
I just don't care. Like, I don't know. It's
but the bigger news with Sony is
it just feels so disconnected. I guess is what it is. It's like if they were connecting it to Spider-Man right now, like, I would be totally down because I love Spider-Man, but like I just don't care. Like, it just doesn't look that good, and I've heard it's not very good. So
I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard it's okay, but obviously okay compared to like what we're getting out of Marvel is like, I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just, I mean, like I said, it's just so weird that it's like there's literally no connection to the current Spider-Man shit, and I'm like, how the fuck is that even possible? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know, it's weird. I just don't like it.
For sure. One other big news, just because we're talking about Sony, was they just announced that Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be Kraven in a solo Kraven movie. Like, this adds to the whole like, what the hell is Sony doing with this universe? Because Kraven having his own movie seems weird to me. I like the character, but why does he have his own movie? And then there's that Morbius movie that still hasn't come out yet with Jared Leto. So it's like, it's all Spider-Man villains, but they get their own movies. I don't understand what's happening sometimes. And I also we saw that Morbius trailer, I feel like last year, like the last Comic-Con we went to, I feel like that came out. And now it's like, I don't know what's happening with that movie. All right, yeah. So I don't really know what Sony's doing with the whole Marvel or Spider-Man again like universe. I don't know what they're doing. But I mean, there's still suspicions that the new movie No Way Home is going to loop in more Sony stuff. So are they just loosely setting things up for when Spider-Man comes back to Sony properties or whatever? Like, I don't really know what they're gonna do, because I mean, we've already heard a bunch of different rumors. There's a huge rumor going on around No Way Home currently talking about Willem Dafoe. So I don't know. I really don't know what the future holds with the Spider-Man properties. It's really, really weird. So I don't know. Venom 2 seems fun enough, but I'm not like dying to watch it, and I still haven't watched the first one, so we'll figure it out when that comes along. Two big things I wanted to go through. I mean, we watched a ton of stuff this last month, and we'll go through this first because it's not really like geek related, but it's very like creepy stories related that Rachel's been like listening to mystery or murder stories and stuff like that, and now we've been wanting to watch the documentary on Netflix, and we didn't do it until now. And I didn't realize it was a 4-part documentary, and they were like 4 hours long, but we sat there and watched the whole thing. But yeah, we watched the Cecil Hotel, a Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, I think is what it's called, on Netflix, the Elisa Lam story. And man, what a wild, insane ride that was. Like, what did you get out of it? Were you like surprised by a lot of it, or were you?
Like I said, I've been just in the last, like, I guess month or so. I just stumbled upon. I think I already talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it last episode.
Yeah, Bailey Sarian, who she basically just does her makeup and talks about like a true crime story.
Yeah.
And it's, for some reason, I was like totally captivated, and I was like, so I got like, I basically went back and I watched all like 100 episodes of it.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been binging lately. If that tells you anything. So yeah, I like literally went back on her YouTube channel and watched all of the episodes, and then now I'm listening to My Favorite Murder, and I'm on episode like 22 now.
Yeah.
I think that's the one I'm on. I've been listening to it like anytime I'm in the car, pretty much. Like, I don't listen to music. I just listen to My Favorite Murder.
I mean, that's what I've been doing. Whenever I have a chance, I listen to them too. So you're not alone there.
And I love them so much, and they make me laugh really hard. But yeah, so I can't remember. I think I may have either heard about it on Bailey Sarian's or them or both, because that's been happening a lot lately.
Yeah.
Is that I watched Bailey Sarian first, and then now like they're like basically I am learning like some new things, because they both kind of have different.
They have different takes on it, and different sources and different things, different ways of writing things and what they think is important too.
I feel like they all kind of concur about everything. It's this is fucking terrible, and these people are awful, and like they they always just feel so bad for these victims that like where their families didn't get any closure and stuff, because that's like the worst part. And that's like essentially what the Elisa Lam thing is like, it was just like such a weird thing, and and I think because of the internet, it just became its own monster. It did. Like, it literally, because like everybody, like at least everybody that I saw post about it was like, this hotel is fucking haunted, and look at this, like she's seeing a ghost, and look at how her hair is moving, and like. Okay, so I guess I have maybe 5% of me that believes in ghosts, but other than that, I think ghosts are bullshit. That's just
don't tell the ghost that. Shh, any ghosts listening to this, please don't take Rachel's words do not reflect the thoughts of the Nerd These Corporation, so don't haunt us, please.
Okay, like I'm saying, like it's not that I don't believe in like a spirit or like you know that kind of thing, like, but I just kind of think ghosts are bullshit. Well, mainly I think a lot of it is like easily explained, and people just want to see what they want to see.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of that, especially like with ghosts and UFOs or whatever. Oh, sorry, your food was on that. Okay. But yeah, so I totally know what you mean.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I guess even at this point in my life, I still don't know like 100% where I stand, just because like religion, I mean, I know religion is different than spirituality, but like, I don't know. Like, I think because one was so tied to the other, and then it got crashed down around me, I like don't believe in either anymore. Yeah. So it's kind of hard. I have a very cynical brain to me. But so every time I saw it, I was like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of creepy. Like, yeah, maybe her hair shouldn't have moved like that. But at the same time, I'm like, well, she whips her hair because she kind of whips her neck into the hallway. And if the AC's blowing or whatever, it's just gonna blow her hair. So like, I don't know, or like, I don't know. It just felt like most of it was like, that's explainable. That's explainable. And one of the things that they did clear up was everyone who watched it was like, oh my God, the door just stays open even though she's pushing all the buttons. And then they actually went to the hotel and pushed one of the buttons that she pushed.
Yeah.
And found out that will keep the door open for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Which is like insane. What an insane, like, so I'll say from a technical standpoint of the documentary, right? Mm-hmm. It is really, really well crafted because it makes you ask a bunch of questions over 3 episodes and then answers all of them. Yeah. Every single one that I had throughout the episodes, I got those questions answered by the end, which I think is great. Yeah. It was a really, well, it was funny because I kept
saying to Chris, like, because there was this whole thing about the lid, and I was like, she could have knocked it in on herself, or that guy didn't remember correctly, and that's what it was. Yeah. Like the guy or he told them, but they didn't hear him correctly. Is he said, no, I found it open, and they said, oh, they found it shut. And it was a big fucking contention. Yeah. Like that, like, because so many people were like, that's the difference between she could have done it herself or she could not have done it herself.
Yeah. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's huge. So like it's like that's literally the difference between a murder and a suicide. Yeah. Like it's
or
just,
the accidental death.
And it sounds like that's it's just so sad. It's just so fucking sad.
It is a really sad story. It ends up
like you know, and like I guess spoilers if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, go see it. But in the end, it really, which like I said, it was my suspicion too, and I think I had heard about it on one of the other podcasts, but they were saying that she, I think it was My Favorite Murder. But yeah, they were saying how she was, and they didn't know it until they looked back on like her writings and stuff like that. Yeah. But she was bipolar. Yeah. And she was having basically a manic episode because she had stopped taking her medication because she went on this trip by herself. Mm-hmm. Which, like, I'm like, dude, I would fucking never let my fucking kid, especially if we're from Canada, go to LA alone. Like, hell fucking no. I mean, it's because I know he is, you know, because I lived here, like I know, but like, I mean, it's cool that, you know, her family was like, okay, as long as you keep checking in with us, like it should be fine. It should have been fine, but our fucking, like, our world is, and especially America, we're so fucked up right now. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's just so fucking sad. Yeah. Like,
it was a really unfortunate circumstance, and like watching through all the things, all the people that were affected by it is like so wild, like, and
I just feel so bad for her family. Like,
yeah, it's really, really sad, and like the thing was too.
No, it'd be so confused. You know, like.
Yeah, and I think that the craziest thing about that episode too is like. It really, or the thing about the whole documentary is that it really humanizes who Elisa Lam was. Yeah. Which was incredible, I think. Because I think, like you said, God, I'm like dry throat. Right. But it's like you listened to the story, you watched the video of her in the elevator, which is like the video that went viral. Every single person watched it. And like, just like 2 years or 3 years after that thing happened, we went and played D&D at our friend's apartment, which was literally across the street from it, and it's that whole, we were outside on the rooftop pool. Yeah, we're on that rooftop pool, and that rooftop pool you can see in the documentary every single time they do an aerial of the thing. So it's like so creepy that we were like right there in that right next to it. There. But in any case, I think it did a wonderful job of humanizing who Elisa Lam was, and really fully realizing who she is instead of that caricature of her that's in that video. Because sometimes that's the only thing people see, and that's the only part of the story they know, and then that's it. This documentary really cleared a lot of those things up. It really told you who she was, gave her gave her roses because she was an amazing writer. Like the stuff that they did on the voiceovers of like the stuff that she posted and things that she wrote was beautiful. Yeah. She was a bright young woman. Yeah. So it makes it extra sad when you see what happened in the end and what, you know, the things that, you know, they conjectured about because of downtown and Skid Row and all types of stuff. And obviously horrible things have happened at the hotel, the Cecil Hotel, but this was just one of many unfortunate circumstances that happened in that area. And it's just like with that stuff, there was unfortunately no help for her at that hotel. Yeah. So
yeah, that was the thing. That was a fucked up thing. And I was talking to another friend about it too, is it's like, unfortunately, like, because of where that place is and who their, you know, clientele are, they get so fucking jaded. Yeah. Like, as long as someone isn't, like, actively dying or
wielding a knife or like a weapon
threatening someone or whatever, you know, or having, like, you know, or taking a shit in the lobby or whatever. Yeah. Like, as long as it's like not, you know, a life or death situation, like, they're calling the cops like every 2 fucking seconds there. Yeah. Because shit is happening. And it's all like systemic fucking bullshit because we can't like have fucking like affordable housing for humanity and affordable health care so that people who are mentally ill don't have to be on the streets, because that's what it is.
Yeah. There's a lot of faults in there in that area. And that's the thing, is
she was mentally ill.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just commonplace. It's everywhere. Everyone's fucking insane. Yeah. You know? I am like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's really, really tough. And I would encourage anyone who's interested in the story, because, you know, she was a person, she had a family, and there was a lot of other extenuating circumstances of that documentary that, like, I wouldn't have known if I didn't watch it. I wouldn't have seen the full story or understood what happened in that time. Yeah. It's really, really important. I think it was a really, really good, worthwhile thing to watch, because we put it off for a little while, and I was always interested and intrigued by it. But it's a lot of layers, and they did a really, really good job. The filmmakers of that documentary did a great job of giving you.
It's just really close to home, like, literally.
Yeah,
We live here now.
And, and we know that area. Yeah. So, like, seeing the video, it's like, oh man, we've driven through there. We know that, we've seen the sadness that is in Skid Row, like the stuff that people are.
Our first fucking week that we lived here, we drove down it. Like, it was that night, like the first night, didn't we?
Yeah, the first night we moved here, we drove through Skid Row. Yeah, because from the airport, we had to go, like, we went to, like, a store to grab stuff for our cat, and then we went
because we got so delayed that day.
Yeah, it was like 12-hour flight. Oh my God. It was ridiculous.
And God bless Pharaoh, he didn't do anything in his box until we got into the fucking hotel.
Yeah.
Like, God bless that. But cat. We went. I swear to God.
So we took we'd like 13 or 14 hours traveling. We had to go to a store, grab a cat litter box, go from there to the condo we were staying at in downtown. Yeah. And man, like, for some reason the GPS just took us right through Skid Row, which was like,
we were going downtown. And that's
so it just took us right through it, and it was like, whoa, this is crazy. But then luckily everything is fine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was like a crazy interesting first experience in LA. But yeah, like, you know, if you've been here, know what Skid Row is, like, you know that area can get a little bit wild, because, you know, people just don't have the resources down there, and they don't have the resources to help them down there, unfortunately. So, but yeah,
they do what they can. But
they do what they can. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, really tough.
And unfortunately, they can't do a lot, and it's growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Like, I mean, hopefully,
and especially because of this year, like, so many more people became homeless because of all the bullshit with all the, like,
rent control and all that stuff. Yeah,
like, what the fuck do they think we're supposed to do, man? Like, the whole fucking world just shut down. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's a discussion for another time.
I know.
We'll move on.
But like it was a big part.
Yeah, but it's a big part of the story.
documentary,
Yeah,
and,
it's a
like,
huge part of the story.
And
so I'm not gonna not gonna ignore it. I'm just saying.
No,
that,
I know. I know it's heavy shit.
It's heavy shit. It's heavy shit. We could go on for like a whole other hour and a half on that. We'd have to call some friends and have some extra talks about that stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, that documentary, please do watch it if you're interested in the Elisa Lam story. Really wraps up a lot of different things about the whole mystery behind it and the intrigue behind it and like why it was so prevalent.
Yeah, like I think there were so many crazy things, but like I think one of the weirdest things to me was that I had always heard people say that Dark Water was based on that story.
Yeah. But Dark Water came out before.
Was the other way. Like, it's so fucking weird.
Creepy.
Because
really creepy.
For some reason, like everyone I don't know, everyone I've talked to about that movie has said like, oh yeah, I think they based it off of Elisa Lam's story. Because like people don't remember the timelines of it and shit, and I'm like, that is so fucking weird that it's like the exact same thing. Like, it's so creepy. And then like that, and then the fucking test.
Yeah. Oh my god, the Lam Elisa. Yeah, it's there's a lot of reasons why people were so intrigued.
Yeah.
And everything is in that documentary, so please do watch it. One other thing I was gonna say, this one was the one that was like, we have been putting off this movie for whatever reason, and it'll go along with the other documentary stuff that we watched, but we've been putting off this movie for so long, and I don't really know why. I mean, I know why, because I was just like, all right, I've watched Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, very emotional after 3. I didn't think we could have another movie. Like, I just didn't think.
That's exactly what I was saying. And my thing was, I was like, I just didn't feel like we needed it.
Yeah.
Like, it was because Toy Story came out when we were like of a certain age, and then it like that was like basically like we grew up with like one of the first all digital animated movies ever, like full length, and just like seeing the leaps and bounds in like technology and stuff like that in our lifetime, like that's been so cool. And then like they knew like we have these kids from this certain age, and this is like something they've gone through, and like, man, like that it just really like hit home. Like,
I was like,
I'm like, yeah, I fucking remember giving away my toys and shit, like, and how like heartbroken I was, and like,
but
yeah, it's crazy. And that one made me cry again too.
Yeah, no, it did.
I'm just gonna be crying this entire podcast. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of emotional shit going on.
Yeah, no, I think it's like, it was one of those things like, I was very adamant, like, I just don't know what they can give me out of this story now that could really hit me in the heart. I just don't know what else they can give me. They gave me everything. They gave me a wrap up to this toy story. Like, they wrapped it all up.
Yeah.
I thought. So I put it off. We put it off
so
this
beautiful.
last week, and we finally watched it, and it is Toy Story 4 is incredibly fantastic. I'm nowhere late to the boat to that, and I apologize for you guys. But if you haven't watched it like us in the past, please do.
Go watch it. Yeah. It's worth it. It's
absolutely worth it. And this is what I'm gonna say. And we'll go into spoilers because I can't really talk about the story without going into spoilers. So if you want to watch it, go watch it, then come back. But know that it's highly recommended by us. I'll say that I didn't realize I didn't necessarily need the epilogue, but this really did round out the toys like journey, Woody's journey.
Could it be any more heartbreaking though?
Yeah.
Now I'm just fucking sad. I'm like,
yeah.
So now they're not together anymore. Like,
yeah. Well, no, but the cool. I mean, I think the moral of the story to me, because it's really Woody's epilogue, right?
Well, yeah.
Because Woody has been with Andy for his entire life, and that was all he was devoted to.
True.
And to give us the last movie where he's like, okay, I'm willing to let go of Andy because I've served my purpose with Andy and all that stuff. And now he's living a life where he's second, third fiddle. He's not the main toy for Bonnie. Bonnie has her toys. Like, she's had her toys, and she has these favorites from the toys she got from Andy. It's not going to be the same dynamic.
Yeah.
And to get that kind of like just ending to where Woody wants to go, and now he gets to have a life with like a partner that he had in the beginning, and like get really to live a full new life and be able to do all that, like, is incredible to me, because it's kind of like, so we had that experience of giving away toys and stuff like that, and I think this movie was also about, like, you know, when, I don't know if I want to go this far, but it's kind of like when parents don't have to take care of their kids anymore.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of how this is about. Like, he doesn't have a responsibility to a kid, so he's kind of lost. He doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing. He's trying to do all these things, but it's not fulfilling to him. So now he's getting to actually live, like, finding out that he gets to live a life beyond being attached and responsible for this specific thing. And I thought that was a really wonderful way to kind of
he basically got
give
to
you
retire.
that caveat. To give him that caveat of like, okay, this is life after being a kid's only love. Like, you can still have a very enjoyable life if you don't have that, like, that main purpose. You can find other things that you want to do. And I think that was really, really, it's an interesting way to throw that curveball and like give you that thing. And man, the extra characters I loved so much. Like, I didn't think I was gonna love Forky as much as I did, but Tony Hale.
Oh my god, dude!
What a goddamn genius.
Trash.
I
fucking that whole Tony thing, Hale. Just the waddling to trash, just like a little fucking duck. I was just like, I can't. It's just every time he looked away.
Yeah. Oh my god!
No, don't throw this away.
And they did the thing. They did the thing where they kind of hinted at what they did in Toy Story 3, where they had a kind of like a villain that had a understandable backstory and all that type of stuff. And then but in Toy Story 3, he was a villain. He was just a bad toy. Like, he became a bad toy. Like, and as understandable as his arc was, he was a bad guy. But in this movie, they gave you the motivation. They gave you that little turn of like, okay, she is kind of bad or whatever. But then they redeemed her completely. And I thought that was like, and I loved so that
it was partly because like she had Forky to talk. It's like so freaking adorable.
Yeah.
She had Forky to talk to, like her little therapist, and she got to like talk to him about like Woody, and she like learned about him and his life and like what his life was like and how great, because Woody, when he's walking with Forky, like they have a really long walk, a 5-mile walk in their little toys, so that's what, like 10 miles, like who knows, and he has to carry him, and so he's telling him all about his life, because like it's like a kid, because it's like this thing has just become sentient, essentially. He was trash and now he's not. And he can't like wrap his head around that, because he wasn't supposed to be a toy, but now he is. And he has to learn that like a child, you know? And like, and then, but at the same time, like, it's like this, no, this is so weird. It's like the sentience has like a knowledge base to a point. And then goes from there, but like it's just so freaking funny to like so he learns all about Woody, and then he tells her all about Woody, and so that's the thing, is like when she comes to him, you know, it's like you know, they make her out to be like, oh, she's stealing his voice box just to like, you know, because she, you know, just wants what's good for her or whatever, but then you realize like she's basically like almost like born with a defect where like,
she was robbed of that ability.
Where no one would ever want her, but because she was this old toy that like was like really well known or whatever, because like it's actually based off of an actual toy. I don't know if you knew that, but like there was a toy that was called like, oh god, it was like something talks a lot. Susie talks a lot. I can't remember what it was called.
I know which one you're talking about, though. I know what you're talking about.
But that's like, it was literally what it was. Like, it was one of those dolls that, and I love that they had her be, because I used to play with like dolls and stuff, and like the baby dolls, when you put them down, the eyes close.
Yeah.
And that's what she was. That's why her eyelashes kind of moved the way that they did, and like when she at the end, when she lays back, her eyes are closed, and then when she picks her up for the first time, she sees her eyes, and like that's such a like it's for girls. I think it's a very relatable thing, because you always loved your little dolls and stuff. Sorry, because that got me really emotional too at the end.
It's okay. I mean, we're talking about a lot of deep shit. But yeah, like I totally know what you mean. Like it was I just thought they did such a great job of introducing her, giving you that turn, making you feel like, okay, this is gonna be Lotso again. This is gonna be Lotso again, and then it's not. Then it's absolutely not. She learns what Woody has had happen, and what Woody's had the feeling wise, and that's what she wants. Yeah. That's all she wants. She wants the opportunity, even to be a kid's toy. That's all she wants. And like, you know, Lotso's thing was like, no kids are special. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Like nothing matters. Yeah,
because he got jilted.
Yeah,
there's been so many different arcs with like toys being left by their kids. There's Jessie.
Yeah.
Who got left.
Yeah.
But like she was really able to like quickly find joy again and be happy. You know, and now she's always been happy. And that's why the fucking thing at the end with him, like,
giving her the sheriff badge. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's really it was a really beautiful way to pass on the mantle and pass on.
That's what broke me. I almost got through it. I almost did. I mean, where the girl picks her up was sweet, but like I didn't cry as much as that.
The sheriff badge, that was a very, very like poignant moment. You go through
they won't see each other again. It's so sad. Like
it's so crazy to see
Buzz so much. They had such a sweet friendship, and then like knowing they're not gonna hang out anymore, it just makes me so sad.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it does. But you know that
them all so much as characters, and they love him. Like that's the thing. Is like they all loved Woody so much.
And you look up to him, but like, you know,
it was like he was dying. Like I don't know, it was like fucked up. Like I don't know, I was just a mess.
He was like dying for them, but he gets to have a new life. So it's like it's mixed emotions, but it's very like it's just really beautiful. They just did a really, really good job with it. Yeah. I was like surprised. I just was surprised by it, like completely. Yeah. All the performances are great. Key and Peele as the bunny and the thing. Their plans thing is so fucking funny.
Oh my god.
Oh, I loved it so much. I loved everything about that movie. A Duke Kaboom, Keanu Reeves.
Attacking the grandma, like.
Oh yeah. The attacking the grandma is so good. It's really, really funny. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
But.
Ridiculous. Oh my
god. And in the interest of like just wrapping this up so we can keep we're already at like 50 something minutes. We've been talking about so much shit, but like they were so good. Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom. He has a really fun like mini arc as well.
Yeah.
The freaking so ventriloquist dummies are so goddamn scary.
Which I had to say, I was like, I should be very afraid of these things. But I basically had one in my room as a child growing up, so they don't scare me that much. They kind of scare me. They're creepy, It's like they have the big eyes that don't close. But I literally had a ventriloquist doll that thing is based on in my room as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, and I played with it and stuff. So like, it's scary to a point, but I'm like, I basically owned that. That was my nightmare.
The problem was the face that it had was the same face that's on like the Goosebumps cover.
Yeah, exactly.
So like that's the one I'm like, oh god, that's the freaking that's that one that I don't like. Yeah, anyway,
essentially,
loved Toy Story 4. If you guys haven't watched it, please do watch it. If you somehow didn't watch it and then like came and listen to this. But
antiques are a whole other thing in my head because my mom used to drag me to those things all the time. Yeah. And it was so well done. Like that.
The antique store,
that part of it too. Just gorgeous. Like when they're inside the cabinet.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the reflections and
that's exactly how
and the plates and I was even thinking that too when they're where they're going behind the shelving.
Yes.
Just the pegboard.
Yeah.
Like that's like they must have just gone to a bunch of antique stores and like looked at all the shit.
They did all their research.
And they know it's always like a little lady. She always has the keys. Like she has everything locked up and like it's really cute. I was like, ugh. But little girl.
Little girl's so cute.
No. The little. I was so mad at the little girl who didn't like her.
Oh yeah.
When she got her thing fixed like that, I was like, oh my god, what a bitch. Like, I would have loved that doll, you
like,
piece of shit. Like,
you've never hated a kid more.
Oh my God, I was so mad.
Is she worse or is Sid worse? Sid played with his toys.
Yeah.
This one rejected a toy.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah. It's a
I don't
rejected type.
But yeah, no, I really loved it.
But then I like I said, I'm just so glad that like they had her find a little girl that loved her. I was like,
it really wrapped it up.
Yeah,
really, really well.
She was scared,
it was
and
beautiful.
So she was like, "Oh, this pretty dolly is mine. I'm gonna take her home." Like, so fucking cute.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I can't take it. And Christina Hendricks is like, she's so good at doing, like
strong,
being genuine, and also being like. I mean, because she kind of had to do that on Mad Men, too, where she had to be like...
It's the strength, but vulnerable.
Exactly.
It's a strong woman.
Yeah, really strong, but like
presenting very strong.
Has vulnerability.
Because you know
to
women
her.
like that, obviously. Like, there's multifaceted. Like, you present that energy of being, like, well put together, and, like, you have everything. You know all the answers. You have all this entire plan. She had an entire plan of how to get a kid and all that type of stuff, and it just didn't work out. And then you see how vulnerable she can be and how real she is, and it's just like, it's everything. She did an incredible job.
Yeah, really, really well voice acted. Like, it's really great. I said, I loved that moment at the end where she's just like, like, is it really as good as it sounds? Like, loved that. yeah. It's
really,
so
really
freaking
good.
Adorable.
Yeah. Just on the topic of, since you were saying they well researched antique shops, and we know that because we watched an entire 20 episode thing on Disney Plus now called Inside Pixar.
Yes.
And there's so many little insane bits. If you're interested in behind the scenes stuff about any movie studios and all that stuff, and obviously they're presenting it in a way, it's their company, blah blah, it's going to be very positive, but it's very, very interesting to see different facets of how a company like that works. And because we've lived with Pixar for so long, it almost seems like
it's something that I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But
I talk a lot.
It's okay. But I feel like it is, like, in some ways it's like, it almost feels like something that you would watch, like, as a member of that company, like, to learn more about your company. So in some ways it kind of feels like that. But at the same time, it is just really, really interesting to know, like, all the different facets of, like, that building and stuff. Like, the fact there's, like, a building manager that, like, or not even the building manager, but she's just, like,
she's overarching, in charge of the entire facility.
Facility manager, where she's dealing with, like, all sorts of shit all day long, and it's crazy.
And then there's
there's a pastry chef, and that has like a really cool, interesting story to her, and like
they walk you through Pixar process and different things. And they showed you,
and then the animation process, and like how, like, they even show you a little bit of how they do like walk cycles. The simple as that, like how complicated that is, and like how many like. For each thing, there's these waveforms of like stuff. I think the thing that blew my mind was when they were interviewing one of the animators, and he said, "I've been working at Pixar for 20 years, and the total amount of animation I have done in total is 40 minutes." Yeah.
Was that? Yeah.
It was 40 minutes something seconds.
Jesus.
40 minutes. Of animation in 20 years.
They said that the average for each animator per year is like
a
minute and a half, 2 minutes of a section. That's all they can do because of how much they have to do.
Insane. Like, because it really is, like, I mean, it's different than like the cell animation. But it's also just as complex of a system to figure out, because it's replicating a human being, basically. It's like bringing something to life. And yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude.
So we highly recommend Inside Pixar on Disney Plus. Absolutely,
if you have any interest in animation at all, or like just Pixar in general, or you love Pixar movies, like
it's only 15-20 minutes long each episode, so they go by really, really fast too.
God, the lighting episode was like so fucking interesting. I geek out so hard on like behind the scenes shit, but like just knowing like how intricate it is to like, and how different things look when you light them certain ways, and like the way they have the translucency on water and like all of that is just
it's a lot. It's a lot.
That's why these movies are so fucking beautiful. That was the thing I was like geeking out on too in Toy Story 4 was I was like, holy shit, like that park scene with the carnival. I was like, this looks so fucking real and so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Because it's like they can make it look as beautiful and colorful as, it's just beautiful. So fucking beautiful. I love it.
Oh, man. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Just gorgeous animation. Like, technology is so fucking dope. Like,
it's so good. It's so good now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's crazy. Just the fact that they kept going back to like Toy Story 1 and showing shit from that.
In the special.
In the special. And like, you're just going, oh my God, I forgot how fucking basic, and like how, like they said, they tried to not have that many actual human characters because of they wanted to do the best animation possible for the time, but like textures look like shit.
Yeah. Like, human skin wouldn't look like human skin. No.
Hair has zero physics. Like I think that's also why, because what was it, Sid?
Sid, yeah.
I think that's why they had his hair so short.
Yeah.
Because they can't do hair physics, and he was like the one who was in the movie the most like prominently. So they were like, yeah, we have to do.
And probably why Andy wore the cowboy hat all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, that's why they did toys, is because they're like, we can do like plastic real well, because that's all this looks like. That's like all the texture they could have at the time. It's so funny, but like then to go from that to like I said, some of the scenes in Toy Story 4 are gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Speaking of animation, so we can keep rolling to another thing that we weren't sure what we were going to think about it when we started out watching it. Because I know that we weren't super like I liked the Bad Batch in the Clone Wars last season for the most part. We both just felt like it went on 2 or 3 episodes too long.
Yeah.
Right? Like we didn't really
had like one episode of the Bad Batch and one episode about Ahsoka's thing, and then the ending.
Yeah.
Like that would be fine with me. It was just, I just felt like there was too much of that stuff in the first thing.
So we weren't sure what we would if we would actually enjoy Bad Batch or not.
Go back and look at it.
Yeah, watch it now and see if we would care about it now.
Yeah.
But now that we gotten to see the first 5 episodes of Bad Batch, I am like thoroughly impressed. Like I don't know why I would have ever doubted Dave Filoni. I shouldn't. No one should now. Like it really isn't a thing. It's not a thing. I don't know if I doubted it, but it's just like, am I going to be emotionally invested? It's not saying that Dave Filoni wouldn't give me a good story, but would I personally buy in by the time we got to the end of episode 1 and episode 2 and all that stuff? I was going to watch it regardless, but like, was I going to buy in? And for now, like I am pretty much bought in. Introduced this new character, Omega. She is fantastic.
I love her.
I think it's like, it's one of those things like there's a magic to what they do. They do a lot of similar things. We're always talking about how even Mandalorian, obviously, like you have a guy who's very independent, blah, blah. Now he has a kid forced upon him, and that's basically the entire series. And that's basically what happens with Ahsoka. She is a Padawan, not forced upon Anakin, but she is Anakin's Padawan. She's just that is kind of how it happens. Rebels does the same thing with Ezra and Kanan. So they have this formula, but they do it just in such a beautiful way every single time. And to have her be one of the clones, technically one of the defective clones, is like such an interesting thing. Sorry, that's a spoiler for Bad Batch episode 1 in case you guys are wondering. But
she's like the only female clone.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting what they've done with the story, and they have a lot of heart with them, with the characters. I will say I had a couple of people who were I talked to about the series, and there is like a little bit weirdness that each character does feel like a caricature of a type of clone, because obviously it's the strong guy, it's the sniper, it's the smart guy, it's the Tech, who's technically not one. Tech is probably the most like well-rounded because he's not one of these guys. He's actually been in the series for longer, and he's got more backstory. But everyone's kind of like their own thing. There's the leader guy, blah blah. So they're kind of their own monolith of a type of character. So that's a little bit weird, but I feel like it kind of works. It doesn't work to their disadvantage.
Yeah.
So far. And they've done a good job of giving each character a bit of fun and stuff like that. I think the only thing for me, if I were to have any sort of criticism of it, is that we're 5 episodes in and we still don't have a... I mean, it seems like that's kind of how it goes. There's just not a full through line yet of what Omega means. Omega. I'm just gonna keep saying it like that, Omega, because that's how she says it.
No one else says it.
No one else says it. No.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, like there's no full through line of figuring out why she's so coveted yet, or why the Kaminoans even wanted to make her. So I'm waiting to find more of that out, and we haven't gotten that yet. We've gotten them on the run and stuff like that, but yeah, I do think
they upped her Aussie just a little bit more.
She's definitely New Zealand, right? Like,
yeah, no.
They're all New Zealand.
Yeah, they're all New Zealand, but she's like just even a little bit more New Zealand than the other clone is. Like, because her accent's turned up like way more. Yeah. It's just funny to me that like that's like I saw the picture of the lady who plays her. She's this Asian woman who's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
But like. Yeah, I just think it's really kind of funny that it's like her accent's just like a little bit stronger. But like they can't have that guy do everybody's voice.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny if he did her voice too. But like
it would be incredible.
I just can't believe it that he
does
ranges. Every single clone, every single one he does the voice of. It's insane.
It's wild.
Which it's awesome because like. You know, they made that decision and they stuck with it, and it just goes to show that this voice actor is like so versatile.
Bradley Baker.
Yes, he is phenomenal voice actor, just phenomenal. I hope he's probably been at a con before, and I've just never like looked out for him. But I want to meet him at some point.
Yeah,
I would just love to be like I'm a huge fan because like he's just done so many wonderful characters like. Mainly Rexy is like
Rex,
my fucking favorite. Like, oh my god,
Rex is the man.
Rex. I love Rex. Oh my god,
and
through to the fucking bitter end, man.
Yeah,
loyal as fuck. Like, ugh, love that, love that clone, man. Ugh, I got so attached to him. Anyway, I love Clone Wars, guys. I'm sorry.
But I'll say like we've been pleasantly surprised by Bad Batch. I think it's been a delightful thing to watch, and it's
really her because like that voice actress is also amazing.
Yeah,
like just like the the range of emotions and stuff like that she's feeling as a kid, and like she's like trying to balance between being curious and like not, and she doesn't have any powers or anything, so she's just like
well they haven't revealed what her like specialty is, but it seems like she's very intuitive, so she understands how to do things very, very quickly. So I don't know what that means for her. That's like, what I want to find out.
I'm toying back and forth. I'm like, is she gonna be force sensitive? Like
yeah.
And they just didn't know that if they changed this gene that she would be force sensitive or something. Like, it's just, it's just so crazy to me that, like, it was just, like, she's just a clone of this one person. It's just so weird.
And I think it's, the one thing I would say before we, like, wrap up, because we're not going to go through all of it. I just think it's just been, like, interesting. We'll go through all of it once we get to the end of the season, I think, too. But I am constantly impressed with how Dave Filoni finds interesting ways to present answers to questions that fans have had. Because the big question is, why is the Empire so... would the Empire go from clones who looked like they were doing a really good job in Clone Wars, and seems like they have a production facility for them, to going to stormtroopers? And this kind of seeks to answer that question. And it seems like they're just like, okay, we shouldn't have to be paying the Kaminoans to make these troopers. We'll make them train these troopers, and we're figuring out what's the best way to make a stormtrooper and make a loyalist. And these are the questions that fans have had for years, kind of like as soon as the clone troopers were introduced to, like, we were like, why would they go from these clones? It seems like they were working well to a regular stormtrooper that are all very
well, it's
different
like these
people.
like scientifically engineered people that were made to be warriors, essentially. Like, that's what it was. They were like made in a lab. And like a very sophisticated lab, nonetheless, and it's just such a weird thing that it's like these aliens almost feel like they're their children. You know? It's like such a crazy, like, fucked up thing. It's like, we've made this beautiful thing. Like, those characters are really, but it's also like
their
like,
security blanket too.
It's like, and you don't know whether and you can't really trust them either, because like they're working for the fucking Empire. Like, but it's just, but it's like, but I don't know, the female one like seems like maybe she like is not as fucked up. I don't know.
Or she gets it or whatever. I don't know.
Something. Yeah, I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see
explain, but yeah.
I just think that those are questions that I wouldn't have thought of to present in a children's show. Yeah. And that's like the crazy thing about
fucking shit, man.
That's the crazy thing about Star Wars.
Pretty harsh shit in terms of like violence and stuff.
When which
I totally respect it. I'm like, I mean, it's not bloody or gory, but not. Like, there's some like pretty. I mean, when they fucking shoot those like people point blank, like for a fucking kid show, I was like, dude, that is so fucking dark.
Just a little side of genocide to show you how bad the Empire is. Just in case you forgot how bad the Empire is. Yeah. Just a little taste of what genocide.
Little genocide, you know, it's fine.
Crazy.
Boy, but that was fucked.
Yeah, like those are the things that. Oh
shit, he's not fucking around. Like, but it's like almost like they want to be like, this is how powerful this chip is that we've put in his fucking brain, that he doesn't give a fuck about anything anymore. Yep. Like, he is 100% dead inside. Like, we enlarged that shit. He is like our killing machine. And that's the thing is, it's like the one guy was like, well, like, fuck this. This is like, you know. And then the fact that he shoots him and is like, what are you guys gonna fucking do? And they're like, okay. Like,
no, you're highly trained and very skilled at killing, so we're not gonna do anything. We're just gonna
do what you just fucking say. And then that's the thing is, they're all gonna get fucking indoctrinated in that shit. Yeah, like, and they work under the way it goes, and like, we're doing it for this righteous reason, and you know.
And that seems like what they did. The case with the Empire is like, you work with. They just
brainwashed you into thinking that like this is the way, and you know, in their own way, but like. Yeah, like they have their own way of,
and they work under fear.
You know, exactly.
The fear of like disappointing their higher up or whatever. Like, they know that the result is going to be violence if they fail. So
yep.
Yeah.
Because they have a dark fucking sorcerer wizard pulling the strings. That's the whole fucking weird. Like, that's the whole.
The movie is about space wizards.
It really is. Well, that's like the whole fucking crazy overarching thing is that there's basically the good god and the bad god, and they are ruling over like two different armies. It's nuts. Like, and all of that shit. Like,
yep, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. It's crazy. And then we did a rewatch of Mandalorian season 1 with your mom. I hope she liked it. Hopefully she's interested in season 2. I don't know.
I just like knew, because like she tends to like a lot of the same like fantasy stuff that I like. Yeah. And sometimes even more than me. Because, like, when I got into
Harry Potter,
like, she saw me getting into Harry Potter and was like, oh, what's this about? And, like...
As a responsible parent would.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Because, she knew it was, like, a big thing. And I held out for a long time, actually. Because, like, I don't know, and I kind of am still one of those kids that's, like, and something's popular, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to be like, I don't want to do the popular thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was really that kid for a while. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to do what they're doing.
I don't want to sell out.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. So I don't know what my reasoning was. I probably should have just been like, oh, hey, everybody else is doing it. I'll do it too. But
hey, man, you gotta have your own mind.
I was individualistic. And I just, like, I don't know. For some reason, but, like, I think it was, like I said, it was the fact that, like, I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast before or not, but, basically my first experience with Harry Potter was I was like, I think it was like 14, 15. And I went to Cancun with my mom and dad. And we were about to get on the plane. And I used to like read mostly on planes. And so my mom was like, oh, pick out a book if you want. And I was like, okay. And I was like looking around for things. And this like grown ass man was like standing next to Harry Potter books, and he's like, have you read these? I was like, no. And he was like, oh my God, they're so good, you have to read them. I'm like, okay. I was like mildly weirded out, but I was like, I mean, if this older dude likes them, like, maybe they're good. I don't know why that convinced me, but it was just funny.
You can't get peer pressured by your own peers. But a random older man in Cancun convinced you.
No, I think it was at the airport. It was at the airport going before we went. So I think it was in Arizona.
At the airport to Cancun.
Yeah.
Convinced you to
read
Harry Potter. That's
the irony of that is that, like, so I started reading on the plane, and of course it's fucking like, it's so well written. Like, it's just so well written. Like I understand, like, you know, J.K. Rowling's a fucking whore now, but like, it's still a really well written book. Yeah. Like, she's a really good author.
She can be a terrible person and
a really good author. Yeah. But she just fucking like hooks you in, man. Like, it's like crack.
Yeah.
You're like, I gotta know what happens to this fucking wizard baby. Like, it's just like, it's so compelling. I was just like, fuck yeah. Like, and I love witch shit and like dark shit, and I was like, fuck yeah, this is dope. So I basically, like, almost the entire trip I sat on a hammock on our balcony in the hotel
what a beautiful Cancun.
Reading Harry Potter.
What a beautiful Cancun trip. You really lived it up.
I did. That's really how much of a fucking nerd. If you want to know how much of a fucking nerd I am, like, I wasn't there the whole time. Like, we did go see shit. But, when my parents were like, you know, we're going to go for a walk, I'm like, I'm going to go sit on the balcony and read Harry Potter.
I got stuff to do. I got plans. You guys go take your walk. Do whatever you got to do.
I seriously did. I was just like, nah, bitch, I got to read this book about this fucking wizard baby.
Oh, you got to do it. You got to do it. That's funny.
Yeah, and then I got hooked on it, and then my mom was like, oh, what's this? And then proceeded to, like, she's so much faster a reader than me. She always has been. Yeah. Like, it really does take a while for me to read a book. So, like, I think I was at the third one, and she was, like, almost at the seventh one. It was insane. Like, she was so much further ahead than me. I'm like, Mom, you gotta fucking wait. Like, if you tell me anything, I'm gonna fucking kill you. But then what was ironic was I got to the fourth book, and then when the fifth book came out, I was about to go to college, and, like, college just fucking my life.
Yeah.
Like, I had no free time anymore, and, like, so I stopped reading the books, and so then I literally, like, I watched up to 4 and then kept going with the movies and hadn't finished the books, and I had to go back to the books and finish them. But, yeah, so I had a weird, fucked up order of things, but my mom finished them, like, years and years before I did. Like, it was so fucking funny. And that's why, like, I was super stoked when, it's like 2 years ago, my mom visited us and I took her to Universal Studios. And we got to go on the Harry Potter ride, and she was like
freaking the fuck out. Oh, probably.
She loved it. I mean, my mom, and it's funny, my mom likes scary stuff, and so she was just like, I'm still terrified of the spider part in that fucking ride. It's creepy as shit. Yeah. Like, they're so realistic looking. And my mom said she actually, like, took off her 3D glasses and got, like, in its face to look at it because she wanted to, like, see as much as she could of it. And I'm like, we are so goddamn, like, we look a lot alike, but we are so different. Like, Like, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, I can't, I want to see it. I'm just like, oh my God. And then she got sprayed in the face. Because the thing spits water at you, and she didn't have the glasses on. She's like, oh God. She's like, oh, they were supposed to protect me, and they didn't.
Shout out to Rachel's mom, Gail.
Oh my God.
She is amazing. We were super excited to go. We got to go home.
That's a big deal too that we still haven't talked about.
We got to go home last week for my birthday.
Oh my God.
I got to go visit family and everything.
It was beautiful.
Since everybody's vaccinated and all that stuff in our families. So thank you to all of them for doing that. Hopefully your families are doing that too. We were able to go back and go see my new nephew, Alexander. We got to see
cute.
Rachel's best friend, Marissa, and her kid, Gwen. She's going to have a kid soon. And then my buddy, Ben, just had his 4th kid. And it's just like, oh my gosh, what craziness. Like, this year has just been so wild. And it was just so, like, it felt so good to go home and finally see them for a meaningful amount of time. And get to hang out with everybody and see our nephew and niece and all that type of stuff. And yeah, it was just great.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say quickly that happened, and we're just happy about that. We're still staying safe now and all that stuff now, but we are vaccinated, so it's good. I'm semi ready to be like out in the world again, but also not, because who knows. But
I'm the same way, and I mean it's partly because of my depression and I already have social anxiety, and being able to be away from that for a whole year, it was just like being like in a warm blanket. I was just like, this is great. I don't have to interact with anyone, and now I have to do it more and more again, and I'm like,
we'll get there.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's hard for me sometimes to be around big groups of people. I tend to be a wallflower. I just want to be away. But I actually, I did get to go to this cool bar that was actually, so I went to this place called The Other Door, which that was the old name. That's what's on the side of the building. But it's actually now called Risky Business. And if you look it up online, it's a bar in North Hollywood. And what's really, really cool about it is that if you pay $10, you can become a member. And this is just like if you want to feel really safe about where you're going. It's a really cool idea. So basically, they want to make it so that this bar, you can only go to it if you are fully vaccinated. And so if that's something that is like really important to you, which it is to me, it makes you feel really good and like about as normal as you can get nowadays. So basically you pay $10, they'll send you like a little like form that you have to fill out online, and then you'll have to fill a form out when you get there. You basically just have to initial all these things, which are actually kind of funny. But it's essentially just saying, like, we are actually taking this seriously. Like, if you, like, forge something, like, and we find out, like, you're getting the fuck out of here and, like, you're never coming back. And and so basically they look at your card, they take your ID, and then you take a picture with your contract, and then you can go in. And then I think, because initially I think it was 20, or I think basically they said it, I think it was $5 for the first like however many people, and now it's $10.
Okay.
And I think eventually it'll be 20. It's basically just because they don't know how many people they're gonna get. They're gonna be members that are gonna be coming all the time.
Yeah.
So excuse me. It's because it's not a huge bar, but it's a really cool looking bar. But anyway, so. Yeah, and so they're going to actually, like, start mailing everybody these, like, actual metal cards that say that you can go. And so then the next time you come, you just show that. And it has all your information on it.
That's cool.
And, yeah. So, yeah, it's just a cool... the people who... we actually got to meet one of the owners, and he seemed like a really cool guy. And, yeah, it's a fun place. There's lots of really cool artwork, and there's pool there. And... they have really good drinks, lots of really cool, like different, like, my friend that I went with, he was saying that he knew, he knew one of the brewers of one of the beers, cause, he did some advertisement work with him. And, So they're using a lot of like local like breweries and stuff like that. If that's interesting to you, because I like different beers and stuff like that, and ciders.
Buy local.
Yes, yes, and and everyone's really cool. Oh, and that was the other cool thing is that when you go for the first time, you get a drink ticket.
Oh, nice.
So so either your first shot or your first beer is free.
Nice.
And what's actually really cool too that they're doing is if what was it? Oh, it's you don't have to tip.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Because they include gratuity and everything.
Oh, great.
So it's like it just makes it like easier in a way. So you don't have to like worry about like handing them cash. But they said if you do give any of them cash, they put it in a jar and they donate it to charity.
That's awesome.
So I thought that was really awesome. Cool. But they just basically build in the gratuity into the drinks they sell already. So.
Yeah. So check out the other door / risky business in North Hollywood if you guys are vaccinated, because it seems like I'm glad that more places are starting to do things like that where they're verifying things and all that type of stuff. I think that's smart for right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all we have for this week. So, but thank you guys so much again for being here and listening to the Nerdlies. Obviously, go to the shop. There's going to be a new shirt in there, the Not Smart shirt. You should just be able to search Not Smart in there on the website and find it there. Obviously, we're still doing Twitch streaming. I've been doing it mostly Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. Depending on the week, you can find the schedule every week on Discord. I usually put up like what I'm going to play. And then we'll do bonus ones when Rachel's available too, because Rachel likes to play games as well. We might play Power Wash Simulator because we watched Sonic play it so much, and it seems like a very relaxing game. I might just have to buy it for you anyway, so you can just play it if you're just at home not doing anything.
I might try it out tonight just because I want to see what it's like.
Oh man, we'll figure it out. All right. But yeah, hopefully you guys have a good rest of the time. Loki's coming out very, very soon. We're in the middle of Bad Batch. There's a lot of stuff happening. More and more news coming out every single time, and then there's trailers, all kinds of stuff. The Edgar Wright trailer we didn't even talk about, and I just thought about it right now for his horror movie that looks insane.
Yeah, I had a big old nope.
So we'll see what's going on with that eventually, but it's a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, and Chris
right
has
now.
been having fun playing Resident Evil.
Oh
on
my
Twitch.
god! So if you guys want to come,
fun in quotation marks.
Hey, it's fine. It's
I don't know I don't know how you fucking do that shit. Like I can't even like normally like, and I might go back and I probably will watch you play it. But like I'm gonna have to do it like with like the pillow over my eyes because I can't.
There's some gross shit.
I haven't like because I mean like I remember trying to watch Aaron play it in VR.
Oh, and, no.
That chick fucking, like, attacking, like, just the biting the hands. I'm just like, oh, my God. It's so fucking disgusting. I just can't watch that shit. I can't watch gory shit. And it looks so fucking real, man. Like, they don't hold back with the fucking
Resident
realism.
Evil doesn't hold back.
Nope. You weren't going to make it. We're going to make it shit your... I mean, that's literally that, like, that guy, the fucking... Resident Evil guy was the one who made PT.
Yeah.
And like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts, man.
The realism is way too.
I got to a section. I posted it up on our Instagram. It's funny, but like there's parts where you're just like, I need to take a second and just yell for a minute, and then I'm gonna come back and play. It's fine. I was telling people on Twitch, like, I don't usually play horror games, but if people hang out and like chit chat, like that makes me feel better. So I don't feel like I'm just sitting in a room by myself playing it. I would never play this by myself ever. I need the audience. So thank you guys thanks to everyone who's been on Twitch that has been very, very supportive the last couple months on it.
Yes,
I've been
thank you very much.
Very happy to have a little community there. So join us on Discord. We'll put the Discord link in the description as well, and you can find it on our website and all that type of stuff. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys have a good day, good week, good however long till we get our next episode in. And go forth and be nerdly. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Nerdlies podcast. If you like what you heard, please leave us a review, subscribe, rate this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher. It definitely helps us with the algorithm and everything. Share it out to your friends if you'd like. If you want to follow us for more, we also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/thenerdlies. We are streaming almost 3 days a week on twitch.tv/thenerdlies. And you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all at the Nerdlies username. So that's TheNerdlys. Rachel can be found at Lady Raygun on Twitter and Instagram, LadyRaegun. She also has a Patreon, patreon.com/LadyRaegun. Thank you so much for supporting us all this time, and we'll see you soon. Go forth and be nerdly. Bye.
Who are we? Don't be sure you ever heard you see. It will be in your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hear me. Cause we the Nerdlies, the nerdy. Who are we? Don't be sure you ever heard you see. It will be in your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hear me. Cause we the Nerdlies, the Nerdlies.